It's not much for a long tour. I also made with short shutter. That's the fate of a landscape photographer. I'm trying something different now. What I like about landscape photography is that's what's it all about.
My name is Marcus. I do landscape photography. This is my boy Cedric. Whenever possible, we go out to explore nature and experience quite some adventures. Let me take you with us. Encourage you to grab your camera and get out there. Explore nature, take amazing pictures, and store unforgettable memories in your heart. But never forget, it's not only about the pictures. It's about being out there.
Good morning. It's 5 a.m. in the morning. We've just arrived at a lake called Walchensee and we want to take nice pictures of the lake today. In the sunrise, got up at 3:30 this morning. It's unbelievable. Cedric's already very eager to go into the water or do anything. He's just, I think he didn't like the 1 hour ride here so much. He wants to have some action now. But anyway, conditions looking quite good. So as you can see, the sun is coming up behind the mountains there. So we will now go search for a nice spot and then take a few pictures that I will show you, of course. And then I have some other plans today. Go to the other side of the lake and it should be another good day. Now I did the first shot over the lake with a little rock here in the water as a foreground, so I hope I can see that later. I didn't use an ND filter at first, which gave me at aperture 16 a shutter time of 2 seconds. That flattened out the surface a bit, but I'm not too satisfied, so I put on my ND filter again. And with that ND filter, I would have to expose for hours and hours, or maybe 30 minutes or so. So I'm trying something different now. I raised up my aperture to 5.6, focusing to infinity. That will not make the foreground absolutely sharp, but the foreground anyway is underwater, so maybe no problem if it's a bit soft. And now I'm exposing for 4 minutes. And I hope that the cloud movement in the sky in front of the rising sun will look very interesting. And then let's just see how that will turn out. As you can see, I have closed my viewfinder. Last time I put a towel on it, but that didn't work so well. And if I expose a long time, there's some noise. And so I want to get rid of this noise. And I found out I have this lid that I could put there. It came with my camera, I just didn't know it. So now it's on. Alright, that didn't work out. So 4 minutes exposure was way too long because it's getting brighter and brighter, so it was totally overexposed. Also, I didn't like the composition so much because the rock that I chose as a foreground was too far in the composition. And so I changed my composition, I zoomed it a bit more, I moved the tripod further into the lake and calculated exposure time again. And now I'm at 40 seconds exposure time, before it was 4 minutes. So it's really drastically changing. And now, all right, let's see how that will turn out. Next shot I'm trying is into this direction over the lake to that little house with the mountains in the back. A problem is that the beach here in the front is always in the way somehow. And so I had to move the composition further to the left. I don't know if that will look so good. And I'm at aperture 8 now, which is a nice compromise. Then I should have sharpness in the back, and I don't need sharpness in the front because there's the lake only. And there's a exposure time of 2 minutes now. And let's see if that boat that is now rowing over the lake is getting into the shot or not. Alright, that's it for this spot. It's a bit disappointing because I got up really early to get the sunrise behind the lake, behind those mountains, but obviously the sunrise, the real red hour, the golden hour, is happening below the mountains, so you don't really see it here, and also there's no big sun reflection here, so I think I got 1 or 2 good shots, but it's not that spectacular that I thought it would be, at least for getting up at 3:30 in the morning. And the shot here towards a little building with the mountains in the back, that looked quite promising. Also with the little fisher boat in front, that could be good. And what we do now, we will go to the opposite side of the lake, totally opposite side. And there we will shoot towards this side here with the sun in our back, some shots over the lake. There should be some rocks also in the water that we can use as a foreground. And then we will do some hiking over these forest islands over there. So there are some hiking paths, so I will go there. All right, we are on the other side of the lake now, and we found this nice spot here with a nice beach, and I'm going to take a shot over the lake with this nice root in front as a foreground, and that, where is it? That wooden house there should be nice, and the mountains in the back, of course. I'm down at aperture 16 again because I'm really close to the root and I want to have the root sharp and also everything sharp until the mountains. And I made 1 shot already, and now I'm going to do a long exposure with the ND filter on for 2 minutes. So let's do that and see how it will turn out. I tried some shots with Cedric on the beach as a foreground. Let's see how that will turn out. And now I packed up my gear and we go now hiking this way around that little peninsula and see if we get some opportunities for good shots over the lake or something else. Otherwise we just have a nice hike. Gonna have a breakfast break also. Now it is, I don't know, now it is 7:15, still early in the morning, but didn't have breakfast yet. So also Cedric, I don't know if you could hear that, he's complaining. So let's go. Breakfast time. We picked a little spot here at the lake with a little bench so we can watch over the lake and have some breakfast now. As always, I will have the German hiking classic, the Landjäger sausage and some cheese. That's my standard supplies when I go hiking. And some water, of course. And then we continue hiking, see what the lake still has to offer for us today.
This lake, by the way, is called the Walchensee. And it's a very deep lake, a mountain lake. It's the biggest mountain lake in Germany. And there's a rumor that the Nazis sank some gold in here. It's more than 100 meters deep, I think. And people are searching for it, but it has never been found. So this looks interesting now, with the little rock in the water, maybe as a foreground, and that green peninsula in the background, and in the further back the mountain.
So we try to get down there now and see if we can get a good shot.
He's having a good time again.
Next I will make a shot of this green peninsula there in front of the mountain. The problem is that I have many leaves in front, and the only option would be to go down to the rocks, but honestly speaking that's too steep to me, and that's too steep for me, so that's not worth it. And so what I will do, take the shot, and I will just crop out the leaves later. It's just at the border. It should be fine, should be a good image anyway.
So I just discovered these rocks that form a leading line and point to the island. By the way, it's an island, not a peninsula. So the island that I took before. And now I will use these rocks as a foreground down at aperture 16, focal length 16. And that gives me a near field of less than a meter. And camera is 1.5 meters, 2 meters away from that. So I focused somewhere in those black rocks. And already made a test shot, and it's nice, crisp and sharp. And now I'm making a long exposure, 2 minutes, to flatten out the lake surface.
Besides that long exposure shot to the islands over the rocks, I also used short shutter speeds and put Cedric on one of the rocks. Later I will combine the shots in the computer. And also I put myself there together with Cedric and use the remote control. So let's see how that will turn out. Maybe I have some nice shots of a flattened out surface and me and Cedric in the shot. That's it for today. We're already hiking back. Where's Cedric? There's Cedric. We're already hiking back to the car now. And well, honestly speaking, it was a bit disappointing getting up at 3:30 in the morning to shoot a nice sunrise, but then there was no real sunrise because the sunrise was hidden behind the mountains. Well, I could have expected that. I mean, I saw that on Google Earth, but I thought the sun might just come up and bring some nice red light over the lake, so that was not so good. But then when we changed to the other side of the lake and started hiking, it became good again, because hiking is always fun. And we found some nice other subjects, that island that I shot twice, some rocks in the foreground. So altogether maybe I have 2-3 keepers in the end. It's not much for a long tour. And yeah, well, but that's it. That's the fate of a landscape photographer. You have to go there and find out how it's like, and then sometimes you're lucky, sometimes you're not. Sometimes you find a great site, but just the conditions are not right. You have to go again. And what I still prefer this over buying a book or whatever. Where they tell me, here, these are the coordinates, you have to go and you shoot that, and then you're there with 10, 20 other photographers. Now, that's not what I like about landscape photography. What I like about landscape photography is just being out there with Cedric, with my dog, and exploring everything by myself. I mean, it's already quite easy because I have Google Earth, I can check it out before, but then what I find there, I don't know. And so I walk around, I climb over rocks, I dodge below trees. That's what it's all about. This is what I like about it. Alright, so then that's it for today. We should be back at the car soon, maybe 10 minutes or something. And thank you again for watching. If you liked the video, give me a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. And don't forget, it's not only about the pictures, it's about being out there. See you next time.